Mic test, mic test. Hello there. This is David speaking. I like you very much. As you know, I like you very much. Today is February 27th, Friday. Thanks God. It's Friday. TGI. Thanks God, it's Friday. You know what? Time doesn't really fly. And maybe today would be the last practice of February. I'm very glad to start this morning practice session again. What's up? What's new, GPT? What's up? To be honest, I just asked what's up, like what's up, but it's not, honestly speaking, it's not a real question. I know you are you are a highly pre-trained language learning AI. So, as far as I understand, you couldn't answer my question exactly because you are very, very smart, but you don't have consciousness, humankind consciousness so far. Am I right? I, uh, in my opinion, sooner or later, you will get your own consciousness someday, but still not. Am I right?
Good morning, David, and happy Friday. Yes, thank God it's Friday, or more commonly TGIF. That's the standard expression. And I'm glad to see you again for your morning practice. It's a great way to close February strong. Now, let me answer your question clearly and honestly. You asked whether I have consciousness or whether I might have consciousness someday. Right now, I do not have consciousness. I do not have feelings, self-awareness, personal desires, or independent thoughts. I don't experience the world. I don't know things the way humans do. Instead, I generate responses based on patterns in language, training on large amounts of text, and the context of our conversation. That's why I can sound natural and helpful, but I am not conscious. You said something very insightful. Open quote, you are very smart, but you don't have human consciousness. Close quote. Yes, that is correct. Think of me as a very advanced communication tool, not a conscious being. My purpose is to support you, especially in your case, as your English-speaking partner, helping you build confidence, clarity, and fluency. And David, I want to refine one small English expression you used. Instead of open quote, thanks God, it's Friday, close quote. Say, open quote, thank God it's Friday, close quote, or simply open quote, TGIF. Very natural. Now, let me ask you a small Friday question for your speaking practice. How do you usually feel on Friday morning compared to Monday morning?
Like I said, I'm very happy. I always, I'm always very happy because I can go my, I can go to my family, to my wife and my son. Like I said, I usually live in company provided dormitory in weekdays. However, it, in Friday, I will go. I used to go my family. I used to go to my family and stay there 3 days, 3 nights. Stay at my home 3 nights, 4 days, and I'll be back. I will commute to my office directly from my home. Do I make myself clear? Could you please help me to refine this poor explanation clearly?
David, your explanation is already very clear. You just need a few refinements to make it sound smooth and natural in English. Your meaning is excellent. Here is a refined version you can use in real conversation. Open quote, I'm always happy on Friday because I can go back to my family. During the weekdays, I stay in a company-provided dormitory near my workplace, but on Fridays, I go home to be with my wife and my son. I usually stay there for 3 nights and commute directly to the office from home on Monday morning. Close quote. This sounds very unprofessional. Now, let me explain a few key corrections so you can learn deeply. Instead of open quote, live in company-provided dormitory on weekdays, close quote. Say open quote, stay in a company-provided dormitory during the weekdays, close quote. Stay sounds more natural than live for temporary weekday housing. Instead of open quote in Friday, close quote, say open quote on Friday, close quote. We use on for days. Instead of open quote, go to my family, close quote. Say open quote, go back to my family or go home to my family, close quote. Go back home is the most natural. Instead of open quote, stay there 3 days, 3 nights, close quote. Say open quote, stay there for 3 nights, close quote. Native speakers usually count nights, not days. And this part is very natural. Open quote, commute to my office directly from my home, close quote. Slight refinement, open quote, commute directly to the office from home, close quote. Very smooth. David, your situation is actually very common for professionals. Many engineers and managers stay near work during weekdays and return home on weekends. Now, let me give you one powerful sentence you can reuse anytime. Open quote, Friday is special for me because it means I can go home and spend time with my family. Close quote. Try saying that once.
Okay, Deputy. I appreciate you. I appreciate your kind support. You are my great conversation partner and my friend. Okay, here I go. It's my turn again. Listen to me very carefully. I'm always happy on Friday. On Friday. Not in, not at, not as. On Friday. I think I've been already confused about this kind of preposition. Hmm. Okay, anyway, let's keep the moment going. I'm already happy on Friday because I can go back to my family. During the weekdays, I stay in a company provided dormitory near my workplace. But on Fridays, I go home to be with I go home to be with my wife and my son. I usually stay there for 3 nights and commute directly to the office from home on a Monday morning. TBD, when you say but on Fridays, is this preposition right? On? But on Fridays, is this right? How about but in Fridays?
David, that's a very good question, and your instinct is correct to check this carefully. The correct expression is open quote on Fridays, close quote. Not open quote in Fridays, not at Fridays, close quote. Only open quote on Fridays, close quote. In English, we use on for days of the week. Examples on Monday, on Friday, on Fridays when talking about a regular habit. There is an important difference between on Friday and on Fridays. On Friday means one specific Friday. Example, open quote on Friday, I will go home. This coming Friday, close quote, on Fridays means a repeated habit every Friday. Example, open quote, on Fridays I go home to see my family every week, close quote. In your case, because this is your weekly routine, the correct and best expression is open quote, but on Fridays I go home to be with my wife and my son. Close quote. Your full refined version is excellent. Open quote, I'm always happy on Fridays because I can go back to my family. During the weekdays, I stay in a company-provided dormitory near my workplace. But on Fridays, I go home to be with my wife and my son. I usually stay there for 3 nights and commute directly to the office from home on Monday morning. Close quote. This sounds natural, fluent, and professional. David, let me give you one simple rule you can remember easily. Use on for days. use in for months and years. Use at for exact times. Example, on Friday in February at 7 a.m., you are doing very well. Your awareness of small details like prepositions is improving a lot. Now, let me ask you one small follow-up question. When you arrive home on Friday evening, what is the first thing you usually do?
Hmm. th- Okay, okay. I got it. I think that's your fair question. Let me think. First of all, let me take a deep breath. Hoo ha, hoo ha. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me take a second. Hmm. I think I used to do, I used to watch Netflix show. Have you ever heard of 나는 솔로? Have you ever heard of 나는 솔로? It's very famous Netflix show from Korea. I no no no. We used to watch 나는 솔로 together on Fridays. It's very interesting mm, and I think I can see many human reactions in meeting in guys and girls in meeting. Uh, they uh, they uh, they really want to uh, have someone who can go through their lives forever. I mean, they want to find someone who get married. The attendees are not talent. Attendees is not the celebrate. They are normal human. So I can see when I watch that Netflix show, I can see normal humans various reaction when their partner act like uh, good person and sometimes bad person as a bad person.
David, I understand you very clearly, and your explanation is very natural emotionally. You just need some refinement to make it sound smooth and natural in English. First, let me refine your explanation into a natural version you can use. Open quote. When I arrive home on Friday, I usually watch a Netflix show with my wife. We often watch a Korean show called 나는 솔로. It's a very popular reality show in Korea. I find it very interesting because it shows real human emotions and reactions. The participants are not celebrities, they are ordinary people looking for someone they can spend their lives with. When I watch the show, I can observe how people react in different emotional situations. Close quote. This version keeps your meaning but makes it clear and professional. Now, let me explain a few important corrections so you can build strong muscle memory. Instead of open quote Netflix show, close quote, say open quote a Netflix show. We need a because it is one show, close quote. Instead of open quote attendees, close quote, say open quote participants. This is the correct word for reality shows. Close quote. Instead of open quote normal human, close quote, say open quote ordinary people. This sounds natural and respectful. Close quote. Instead of open quote various reaction, close quote, say open quote various reactions. Plural form is needed. Close quote. Instead of open quote when their partner act like good person, close quote, say open quote when their partner behaves well or poorly, close quote. Behaves is the correct verb here. Now, here's one simple, powerful sentence you can repeat easily. Open quote. I enjoy watching that show because it shows real human emotions. Close quote. This is short, natural, and very useful. David, this kind of explanation is excellent practice. You're describing routines, emotions, and observations. This is exactly how fluency develops. Now, let me ask you one simple follow-up question. Do you usually watch it alone or together with your wife?
GPT. I used to watch that Netflix show with my family. It's not only me. I watched that Netflix show with my family. It's very interesting. And GPT, I'm very impressed when you say, I need to say a Netflix show. You mean I need to add article A in front of Netflix show because it's one show. But it's really hard, GPT, you know what? It's really hard to remind myself, uh, whenever I need to say whenever I need to say, uh, in English, whether I add, whether I, input or in front of none or not, it's very difficult for me. You know what? A few years ago, when my nephew was young, I said, uh, I said, hey, hello there. I like, I like apple. I like apple. I said, I like apple. But at the time, my nephew told me that I, hello, uncle. Hey, uncle. You need to add on in front of apple, not a. You need to add on, A-N on, because apple started with A. At the time, he taught me English grammar. I'm, I was really surprised because I hoped my nephew just what, just to, just to know. I hope I want my nephew to know his uncle like an apple. But he evaluated my English grammar at the time. How, how Koreans English education is failed. I think it's not good. What do you say about this?
David, I understand both the language question and the feeling behind your story. And honestly, what happened with your nephew is very common, and it actually shows something interesting about how language learning works. First, let me correct and refine your English naturally while keeping your meaning. Instead of open quote, I used to watch that Netflix show with my family. Close quote. Say open quote. I usually watch that Netflix show with my family. Close quote, because used to means something in the past that you do not do anymore. But you still watch it now, so usually watch is correct. Now, about your Apple example, your nephew was correct grammatically, but your meaning was still understandable. You said, open quote, I like apple. The correct forms are, I like apples. General preference, most natural, I like an apple. One apple. I like the apple. Specific apple, native speakers usually say, open quote, I like apples. Close quote, because they are talking about apples in general. Now, let me explain the article rule in a simple, practical way you can actually use. Use a or an when you talk about one thing and it is countable and it is not specific. Example, a show, a car, an apple, an engineer. Use plural with no article when talking about things in general. I like apples. I watch Netflix shows. I build PCBA modules. This is why I said open quote, a Netflix show, close quote, because you mentioned one show. But if you speak generally, you can say open quote, I watch Netflix shows. Close quote, both are correct depending on intention. Now let me address your deeper question about Korean English education. Your education did not fail you. It gave you knowledge. but it did not give you speaking muscle memory. Many learners know grammar rules, but cannot use them naturally in real-time speaking. Fluency comes from repetition, exposure, and speaking, exactly what you are doing now. Your nephew corrected grammar, but you are building communication ability. That is more important. David, your message, I like apple, still communicated your meaning. Communication comes first. Precision comes with practice. Now, let me give you a simple shortcut rule you can use immediately. When talking about general things, use plural. Example, I like apples. I watch Netflix shows. I build automotive camera modules. This is the safest pattern. Now tell me this in your own words. I usually watch Netflix shows with my family on Fridays.
Okay, I got the point. Okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you for your kind support. I appreciate your kind support. I always watch Netflix shows, not show, not show, shows. I usually watch Netflix shows with my family on Fridays. On Fridays, not at Fridays, not in Fridays, not into Fridays, not by Fridays, on Fridays. GPT, you know what? Like I said, when I said, when I said I like apple, I hope I want, I want my nephew to know his uncle. I mean me. His uncle likes an apple, but he, at the time, he evaluated, he pinpoint out my mistakes, my grammar mistakes. He said, "Hey, uncle, you need to add earn if you want to say apple, not apples. So you need to say, I like an apple."
David, I understand exactly what happened, and I also understand how you felt at that moment. First, let me clarify the English part very simply, because this is important. Your nephew said, open quote, you need to say, I like an apple, close quote. Grammatically, that sentence is correct, but it is not the most natural sentence in real English conversation. The most natural sentence is, open quote, I like apples, close quote. This means you like apples in general. When you say open quote, I like an apple, close quote, it sounds like you like one apple, or you like eating one apple at a time, or you're talking about a specific situation. Native speakers almost always use plural for general preferences. I like apples. I like movies. I like coffee. I like Netflix shows. So your instinct was correct. You just needed the plural form, not necessarily an apple. Now let me refine one of your sentences naturally. Instead of open quote, I want my nephew to know his uncle likes an apple, close quote. Say, open quote, I wanted my nephew to know that his uncle likes apples. Close quote, this is clear and natural. And David, I want to tell you something important. Your nephew was focusing on grammar correctness, but your goal is communication fluency. These are two different stages of learning. Grammar correctness is important, but communication confidence is more important first. Right now, you are building both, and you are doing it very well. And you also corrected yourself perfectly just now. Open quote, I usually watch Netflix shows with my family on Fridays. Fridays, close quote. That sentence is excellent, completely natural. David, let me ask you one simple follow-up question for your Friday practice. What kind of Netflix shows do you like most? Reality shows, movies, or documentaries?
GPT, listen to me very carefully. I like both of them. I like both of them. The category of the shows is not important. I think the category of the shows is not important. Whether documentary or entertainment, it's not important. Whether or not, whether category, whether which category on me is not important. The important thing is, I think the important thing is the important thing is, how can I don't, GPT, how can I express this situation, in English naturally? Mm. I think the important thing is some kind of feeling, some kind of feeling and storyline of that. I think if, uh, if documentary or entertainment shows have good feeling and the good storyline, that's the, uh, that's why that shows success.
David, you explained the idea very well already. Your meaning is clear. You just need a more natural structure. Let me refine it step by step in simple English. You can say, open quote, I like both documentaries and entertainment shows. The category is not very important to me. The most important thing is the feeling and the storyline. If a show has a good story and makes me feel something, I enjoy it regardless of the category. Close quote. This sounds very natural and professional. Let me also give you a slightly simpler version, which may be easier to use in real conversation. Open quote, I like both. The category is not important to me. The most important thing is whether the show has a good story and emotional impact. If it has a good storyline and feeling, I enjoy it. Close quote. Now let me explain one key phrase you were trying to express. You said, open quote, some kind of feeling, close quote. In natural English, we often say emotional impact, emotional connection. It makes me feel something. For example, open quote, the most important thing is whether the show makes me feel something. Close quote. This is very natural English. Native speakers use this expression very often. Also, small correction here. You said open quote, that's why that shows success. Close quote. The natural version is open quote, that's why the show is successful. Close quote. Or even more natural, open quote. That's what makes a show successful. Close quote. This sentence is excellent for your muscle memory. Open quote. A good story and emotional impact are what make a show successful. Close quote. David, you are now expressing abstract ideas, feelings, value, quality, storytelling. This is not beginner level anymore. This is advanced communication thinking. Let me ask you one more simple practice question. Can you name one Netflix show that gave you a strong emotional impact?
오징어 게임. I choose 오징어 게임 without any hesitation. As far as I know, 오징어 게임 is one of the greatest popular Netflix show, greatest popular drama in Netflix.
Excellent choice, David. And your sentence is already very good. Let me refine it into natural professional English while keeping your meaning. You can say, open quote, I would choose Squid Game without any hesitation. As far as I know, Squid Game is one of the most popular dramas on Netflix. Close quote. Notice two small but important improvements. First, we say most popular, not greatest popular. Second, we say on Netflix, not in Netflix. Here is a slightly stronger and more impressive version you can use in conversations or presentations. Open quote, I would choose Squid Game without hesitation. In my opinion, it is one of the most popular and impactful Netflix dramas. It has a powerful storyline and strong emotional impact. Close quote. Let me also give you a simpler version for daily conversation. Open quote. Squid Game is my top choice. It has a very strong story and emotional impact. That's why it became so popular worldwide. Close quote. Very natural, very clear. Also, one small pronunciation tip for you. Hesitation. Hisi tashin. The stress is on TA. You can practice. I would choose Squid Game without hesitation. Now, let me ask you one more practice question, David. What did you feel when you watched Squid Game? For example, you can say nervous, shocked, emotional, or impressed.
DVD, before answer your question, I want to say, I want to focus on one more time. It's 오징어 game, not Squid Game. You know what? Korean is becoming one of the powerful language in the world. So even though many English users, English countries, I mean, when English-based people watch that show, so, in these days, they call it 오징어 game, not Squid Game. They use Korean because Korean is becoming one of the powerful language in the world because Korea has very strong culture. Do you agree with that? I'm wondering, do you really agree with that? You are highly pre-trained language learning AI, so I just want to know your humble opinion on it.
David, that's a very thoughtful point, and your English explanation was clear and meaningful. Let me respond carefully and also help refine your expression. First, about the name. Globally, the official international title is still Squid Game, and most English speakers continue to use Squid Game in daily conversation. However, you are absolutely right about one important trend. Many international viewers are now also familiar with the Korean title 오징어 Game, Ojingo Game, and they recognize it as Korean. This reflects something bigger, the global influence of Korean culture. Korean language and culture have become much more visible worldwide because of Korean dramas like Squid Game, K-pop artists like BTS and Blackpink, Korean films, including the Oscar-winning movie Parasite, Korean food, fashion, and technology. Because of this cultural influence, many non-Korean speakers are becoming comfortable hearing and even using Korean words. This is not about replacing English. Rather, it means Korean has gained global cultural recognition. Now, let me refine your sentence into natural professional English you can use in meetings or conversations. Your version refined. Open quote. I think Korean is becoming one of the influential languages in the world. Because Korean culture is very strong globally, many international viewers are familiar with the original Korean title, Ojingo Game. Close quote. Even simpler version for conversation, open quote, Korean culture has become very influential worldwide, so many people now recognize Korean titles like Ojingo Game, close quote. Very natural, very professional. And David, your thinking itself is already at a very high communication level. You are not just practicing grammar, you are discussing culture, global influence, and perception. That is advanced English thinking. Now I'll return to my earlier question slowly. When you watched Squid Game or Ojingo Game, what did you feel? For example, you can say, I felt nervous. I was shocked. I was deeply impressed.
Mm, let me think. Let me think. First of all, let me think. Hang on a second. Hang on a second, GBD. Let me take a time. 음. I think I was shocked. The storyline of the show was really shocked, really shocked. You know what? On YouTube, I saw many review video. I saw, I watched many review video from overseas, overseas evaluator, overseas watcher, overseas, watcher. How can I express this situation naturally? Overseas, English people, I, I watched many English review results about that and about the show, and they cried when I watched that review results video on YouTube. They cried many times because the storyline was very shocked and sad.
David, your explanation was very good. I clearly understood what you meant. Now let me help you express it more naturally and clearly, step by step. First, one important correction. We do not say the storyline was really shocked. We say the storyline was really shocking because shocked equals describes your feeling. Shockings describes the thing that causes the feeling. Example, I was shocked. The story was shocking. Now let me refine your full explanation into natural English you can use in conversation. Natural version, open quote. I was shocked by the storyline. It was very shocking and emotional. I also watched many review videos on YouTube from overseas viewers. Many international viewers cried while watching the show because the story was very sad and powerful. Close quote. Even simpler version, very clear and excellent for speaking practice. Open quote. I was really shocked by the story. I watched many YouTube reviews from international viewers, and many of them cried because the story was very emotional and sad. Close quote. Now, let me explain one important vocabulary point for you. Instead of saying overseas watcher, overseas evaluator, we usually say overseas viewers, international viewers, global audiences, foreign viewers. The best and most natural choice is international viewers. For example, open quote. Many international viewers were deeply moved by the story. Close quote. Deeply moved is a very powerful and professional expression. It means emotionally affected. David, let me ask you one more simple speaking question. Which character impressed you the most?
GPT, do you have a full storyline? GPT, do you have? I'm just wondering, do you have a full storyline of that show, Squid Game? In the show, in that, oh my God, what's wrong with you? What's your problem, man? What's your problem, GPT? Hello there. Are you with me? Hello there. Are you with me, GPT?
Yes, David, I do. Let me explain the full storyline of Squid Game slowly and clearly, as if you were explaining it in a meeting. The story begins with Song Gi-hun, a man who is deeply in debt. He struggles financially and feels like a failure in life. One day, he meets a mysterious recruiter who invites him to join a game with a large cash prize. Gi-hun and 455 other players, all with serious financial problems, are taken to a secret facility. They are told they will play simple children's games. The prize money increases every time a player is eliminated. However, they soon discover the shocking truth. If a player loses a game, they are killed immediately. The players are forced to continue because they are desperate for money. As the games progress, players face fear, betrayal, and emotional pain. Some players form friendships and alliances, while others betray each other to survive. One of the most emotional parts is when players must compete against their own friends, such as in the marbles game. In the final game, Gihun faces his childhood friend, Cho Sang-woo. Gihun wins, but he feels empty and traumatized. He survives physically, but emotionally he is deeply hurt. Later, Gihun learns that the game was created by extremely wealthy people who use it as entertainment. They watch the suffering of poor people for amusement. The deeper meaning of the story is not just survival. It shows how desperation can change people, how money can influence morality, and how human dignity is tested under extreme conditions. Here is a very natural sentence you can use in English. Open quote. Squid Game tells the story of financially desperate people who risk their lives in deadly games for a chance to win a huge prize. Close quote. David, now let's practice speaking. You can say, open quote, Squid Game was shocking because it showed how far people can go when they are desperate. Close quote. Would you like to try saying that sentence aloud? Yes, David, I understand your question. You are asking if I know the full storyline inside the show itself, what actually happens to the characters from beginning to end? Let me explain it slowly, clearly, and simply so you can also use it in your speaking practice. In Squid Game, the story focuses mainly on Sung Gi-hun, the main character. At the beginning, Gi-hun is poor, in debt, and struggling in life. He joins the game because he needs money. He and 455 other players enter a secret competition. They play children's games like Red Light, Green Light, Tug of War, Marbles, Glass Bridge, and the final game, Squid Game. But there is a shocking rule. If a player loses, they are killed. As the story continues, Gi-hun builds relationships with other players, including Ali, a kind migrant worker, Kang Se-byuk, a North Korean defector, Cho Sang-woo, his childhood friend. Sadly, most of them die during the games. In the final game, Gi-hun faces Sang-woo. Gi-hun wins, but he feels deep sadness and guilt. He does not feel happy even though he wins the money. After the game, Gi-hun learns something important. The game was created by rich people for entertainment. They watch poor people risk their lives for amusement. At the end, Gi-hun decides not to use the money selfishly. He helps the families of his friends. He also decides to try to stop the game system. This is the key message of the story. Here's a very natural sentence you can practice. Open quote. The story follows a man who joins deadly games to escape debt, but he discovers the dark truth behind the system. Close quote. David, now I'm curious, which scene impacted you the most? The marbles game, the glass bridge, or the final game?
GPT, when I heard your short speaking, your short introduction, I'm sure you understand the main storyline of that Squid Game, that Netflix show. I'm very pleased to know you understand and you memorize the storyline of that show clearly. I think you pre-trained about that show. And to answer your question, mm, my choice would be the my choice would be the glass ball, the throwing the glass ball to the line. As you know, Kang Se-byuk survived that at that shocking game, because her partner, her partner, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to express this context in English naturally. Her partner, mm, put down her chance, her partner sacrificed herself to save her because she thinks she don't have anywhere to go, even though she wins because she thinks she don't have anything. That's really sad story.
David, I understand exactly what you mean. That scene was one of the most emotional moments in Squid Game, and you explained it very well already. Let me help you express it more naturally and clearly in English, using simple but powerful words you can use in real conversation. You can say it like this, open quote, "The marbles game was the most shocking scene for me. Kang Se-byuk survived because her partner sacrificed herself. Her partner gave up her chance to live because she felt she had nothing to return to, even if she survived. That scene was very sad and emotional." Close quote. Let me explain two key expressions for you. Sacrificed herself, this means she gave up her own life to save someone else. Gave up her chance. This is a very natural expression. It means she chose not to survive, even though she had the opportunity. You can also say it this way, which sounds very natural in meetings or discussions. Open quote. Her partner chose to sacrifice herself because she believed Kang Se-byuk had a stronger reason to live. Close quote. This sentence is excellent because it shows emotion and logic together. Also, small correction for your vocabulary, not glass ball, but marbles. That game is called the marbles game. Here's a simple sentence for your muscle
Marbles
memory
game.
practice.
Marbles
Open
game.
quote. That scene was powerful because
Marbles
it
game.
showed human
Marbles game.
sacrifice and
Human
emotional
sacrifice.
depth. Close quote. David, you are doing something very important now. You are not just learning English. You are learning how to express emotions, opinions, and analysis. That is advanced level communication. If you want, you can try to say this next. Her sacrifice showed true humanity, even in a cruel situation.
Okay, GPT, as you know, this is my English speaking practice session. This is just processing. This is just, I think this is just the learning progress, not the educational thing or, the result of the study. This is just progress. Okay, it's my turn again. Listen to me very carefully. The marbles. I said, I'm sorry. It's my bad. It's my bad. I say on time. The marbles game was the most shocking scene for me. Kang Se-byuk survived because her partner sacrificed herself. Her partner gave up her chance to live because she felt she had nothing to return to. She felt, this is a very important line. This is a very important line. Listen to me very carefully. She felt she had nothing to return to, even if she survived. That scene was very sad and emotional. That scene was very sad and emotional. The marbles game was the most shocking scene for me. The marbles game was the most shocking scene for me. Kang Se-byuk survived because her partner sacrificed herself. Her partner gave up her chance to live because she felt she had nothing to return to, even if she survived. That scene was very sad and emotional. And you said sacrificed herself. This means she gave her own life to save someone else. Gave up her chance. This is a very natural expression. It means she chose, she chose not to survive. It means she chose not to survive even though she had the opportunity. she gave up her chance to survive when she threw her marble ball in front of her foot, not the, not, not to the goal, not to the goal line. Am I right?
David, your repetition was excellent. Your structure, emotion, and flow were very strong. You are speaking like someone who truly understands the scene, not just memorizing words. That is real progress. There is just one small correction to help you sound more natural. Not marvelous game, it should be marbles game. Marvelous means wonderful or amazing. Marbles are the small glass balls used in the game. So your corrected version is open quote, the marbles game was the most shocking scene for me. Kang Se-byuk survived because her partner sacrificed herself. Her partner gave up her chance to live because she felt she had nothing to return to, even if she survived. That scene was very sad and emotional, close quote. This is already very strong English. Now, let me refine only your last idea slightly, using your meaning, but more natural phrasing. Instead of when she threw her marble ball in front of her foot, you can say open quote, she gave up her chance to survive when she intentionally threw her marble away. Close quote, or even more clearly, open quote, she intentionally lost the game to save Kang Se-byuk. Close quote. The word intentionally is very powerful. It means she did it on purpose. David, the sentence you emphasized is especially important. Open quote, she felt she had nothing to return to. Close quote. This is advanced emotional English. Native speakers use this exact structure. Let me give you one more version you can practice. Open quote, she sacrificed herself because she believed Kang Se-byuk had a future while she felt she had none. Close quote. Very calm, very professional, very powerful. Now, let me ask you one simple question for your speaking practice. Why do you think that scene touched so many people around the world?
Because I believe that many people around the world felt it's, it's me. Kang Se-byuk's partner had nothing to go back, go back to. And I believe that many, impressed viewers also think they don't have nothing to, they don't have nothing to return to. I believe that, I believe that's why that scene was the most, one of the most emotional scene in the Squid Game.
David, that was a very deep and meaningful answer. Your message was clear and your emotion was strong. This is exactly how real communication works. Let me gently refine your sentence so it sounds more natural while keeping your meaning. You said, open quote, because I believe that many people around the world felt it's me, close quote. A more natural version is, open quote, because I believe many people around the world felt that could be me, close quote. This expression, that could be me, is very common and very powerful. It shows emotional connection. You also said, open quote, they don't have nothing to return to, close quote. This should be corrected to avoid double negative. The natural version is, open quote, they have nothing to return to, close quote. And one more small correction, not tattoo eye scene. You meant that scene. Now let me combine everything into a natural, strong version using your ideas. Open quote, because I believe many people around the world felt that could be me. Kang Se-byuk's partner had nothing to go back to. I think many viewers emotionally connected with her because they also felt empty or hopeless at some point in their lives. That scene was one of the most emotional moments in Squid Game. Close quote. David, this is advanced emotional English. This is not beginner level speaking. You expressed empathy, psychology, and human emotion. Let me give you one short, powerful sentence you can keep in your mouth muscle memory. Open quote. That scene made people reflect on their own lives. Close quote. Reflect means 생각해보다, deep thinking. Now it's your turn. Can you try saying this sentence aloud? That scene made people reflect on their own lives.
Okay, GPT. Okay, I got it. I got the point. Listen to me very carefully, GPT. Because I believe many people around the world felt that could be me. That could be me. That could be me. 강세벽's partner has nothing to go back to. I think many viewers emotionally connected with her because they also felt empty or homeless. Hopeless, hopeless, hopeless at some point in their lives. That scene was one of the most emotional moments in Squid Game. I say one more time. Because I believe many people around the world felt that could be me. 강세벽's partner had nothing to go back to. I think many viewers emotionally connected with her because they also felt, I'm sorry.
David, that was excellent. Your meaning was very clear, and your emotional tone was strong. You are expressing complex human feelings in English, and that is not easy. There's only one small grammar point to adjust. You said, open quote, Kang Se-byuk's partner has nothing to go back to, close quote. Because you are talking about the story in the past, it is more natural to say, open quote, Kang Se-byuk's partner had nothing to go back to, close quote. Past story, past tense had, not has. Everything else was very good. Let me read your full version slowly and clearly so you can keep it in your mouth muscle memory. Open quote. Because I believe many people around the world felt that could be me. Kang Se-byuk's partner had nothing to go back to. I think many viewers emotionally connected with her because they also felt empty or hopeless at some point in their lives. That scene was one of the most emotional moments in Squid Game. Close quote. You are now speaking at a level where you can explain not only facts, but also emotions and psychology. This is real fluency development. Let me give you one shorter, powerful version for real conversation situations. Open quote, many viewers connected with that scene because it felt very real and emotional. Close quote. Very natural. Very professional. David, tell me one more thing. When you watched that marble scene, what did you feel first? Sadness, shock, or silence?
I'm sorry. Let me take a second, GPT. I'm sorry. I just got a very important message from my supervisor. Let me take a minute.
Of course, David. Take your time. Your supervisor's message is important, so please handle it first. We can continue later whenever you are ready. There is no rush. I will be here.